then you get like a different value. But then g of x is basically the 2x over 1 plus x equation. You're subbing in 4x squared minus 24. But then if you try to do that, you get like different values.
Okay. Yeah. So this is with respect to this the problem that we were trying to solve before, right? You related with that one. I'm saying this statement is not correct for any and every composition function that you deal with. Even if I am dealing with a very tiny, easy function which says fx equals 4x and gx equals, let's say, 2x minus 7. Even if I'm dealing with such a simple equation or simple functions, right? f of f of g of x versus g of f of x will give a different value. Let's look at this equation, okay? Let's say if I have to find out f of g of x. If I have to find out this one, so that will be function of g of x. G of x is what? 2x minus 7. Okay? So this will be equal to, wherever I have x, I'll put this 2x minus 7. This becomes 8x minus 28. Now let's flip. So g of f of x. Now f of x is what? 4x. So this is f of x is 4x. So I replace that here in g. So in place of x I will have 4x. Sorry, this is 2 minus 7. So f of g of x gave me 8x minus 28. And now look at this one. This became 2 times 4, 8x minus 7. You can do that with a very simple scenario. Just make sure that your f and g of x are not the same. If you say f of x is 2x and g of x is also 2x, then you, even if you break your head for 2 hours, this statement will be true. If both the functions are not same, both don't have the same relationship, same contract, then this statement will never be true. Okay, this has to be false. So by wasting your 2, 3, 4 minutes explaining this, my intention was to enforce or cement this fact that just by, like we say, we get tempted to say so, okay? I mean, we know that, okay, x into y is equal to y into x, right? It's simple algebra. Now, we might end up concluding it that way, okay, function of g of x, function of g of x is equal to function of g of f of x. It looks like we have just jumbled the characters here, but if we are not being extra cautious, we might end up concluding it this way. So I'm saying that never think on these lines. When I talk about composition functions or composite functions, just by changing the order, changes everything. Changing order creates disorder actually. Yeah. Alright. So before I proceed further, any questions so far? No question, Chris? Arya, no questions?
No.
Dave, no question. Rehan, no question? So Rehan, how do I pronounce your name? Rehan or Rehan?
Rehan.
Rehan, okay. Rehan. Sally, any question, beta? No questions? Okay. So far whatever we have done with composition functions or composite functions, we are comfortable, we are able to relate, right? Okay. Now practice time. Let's deal with one problem. I want you guys to quickly solve this. Function of x is equals x square minus 4 by 2x, and function of g equals 2x minus 4. So I'm going to give you a trick question. Don't rush. I'm saying find out function of g of x or function of g of f of x. You can find one of the two, whichever you think you can do faster. So, if you listen to me carefully, what I'm saying is, I'm giving you a question and I'm saying don't start doing it. Look at the question and tell me which one you can do faster and do that one. You can do function of f of g or function of g of f. You can choose, and whichever you think you can do faster, do that one. So I'm trying to bring that extra element of thoughtfulness. You guys do it. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. So, who is ready? Arya is ready. So Arya is not using this one, this hand. You can use this one like this. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So again, I would not be interested in knowing the answer. I want to hear what did go in your mind before you came to a conclusion. So what did you do? Yeah. Explain.
Are you asking me?
Yep.
Okay. So since it's f of g of x, I substituted in the equation of g of x wherever f of x has an x. So I did 2x minus 4 whole squared minus 4 over 2x times 2x minus 4. And then from there I just started simplifying. I'm not sure if I simplified correctly because I did it kind of fast, but I got negative 16x squared plus 64 over 4x squared minus 8x. And then after simplifying further, I got 3 over negative 2x.
Okay. that's one answer. Anybody else? I'll give 2 more minutes to you guys, and then I'll tell you what I was trying to hear from you all. Yep, yeah, Chris, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I raised it by mistake.
Okay, that's okay.
I wrote 7 by mistake.
I'm sorry, Vita?
I wrote 7 by mistake.
Okay. So okay, so let's stop it here. Okay, so I'll tell you what was the reason for asking for this question actually. I'm actually a bad teacher. Okay, when I say bad teacher, what I mean by that is I don't believe in making kids do a lot of just blind work. I'll make you guys think. Okay. So that's why when I gave this question, I did not ask you to solve it for x of value of x equals to 2, x equals to 4. I said if I have a situation like this where I have two functions and I have to find out the composition functions or composition function or composite function, I said you have two options. Find out f of g of x or g of f of x. Which one you would choose first? Which one? You can choose whichever you want to choose. Which one you would choose if you have to do it faster? By that what I meant was that if I go for f of g of x, what am I doing? I'm finding out the g of x and then substituting it here. Versus, and then I find the f of that value. Versus, if I go for g of f of x, meaning I get the value of f of x first and put that in g of x. Now look at this, okay? See how crooked your teacher is, okay? Now, if you look at this situation, if I have to find out if you have to find out f of g of x, that means you have to find out f of g of x. Now in this case what will happen? You will find out g of x, that is 2x minus 4. So g of x you found, that you substituted here, and that's what you have to find. And you know this is the equation, so this will become, in place of x you will put 2x minus 4 like what Arya explained, minus 4 by 2 into 2x minus 4. This is one scenario. If you are going for f of g of x. Now, if you are going for g of f of x, that means g of f of x, which is f of x is what? 2x square minus 4 by 2x, and you have to find the g of that. That means your equation is this, which becomes 2 times x square minus 4 by 2x minus 4. So you have to solve this versus this. And I gave you guys two options, which you can choose whether you want to do f of g of x or g of f of x. And whichever you think you can do faster, you can choose. My bet would be always to go for g of f of x. Whichever function looks simpler, I would want that to be the father. Okay? Whichever looks complex, that has to be the child. Since we are dealing with one quadratic form of equation and one linear equation, obviously you would not want this to be the child. I'm sorry, this to be the father. Because if this is the father, you imagine the amount of calculation you will end up doing. Right? So it's again it's like a elimination technique that you will have to anyways apply when you go for SAT exam. You will have tens of problems to deal with. You have to find out which approach you will take to solve the same problem in a faster way. Or if you have two problems to solve, you know that this is going to take time, this is going to take less time. Let me solve the one which takes less time first. Right? So now comes my magical formula. And that will be the last thing that we learn in today's class, okay? And Arya can probably close her ear for a little bit because she has heard it enough from me. I call it TRAN. You remember, right, Arya? Yeah, okay. So this is my, I know I bore you guys with this one, but still this is important is what I believe. This is my magic wand for solving each and every problem that we have to solve, which is made of 4 characters TRAN. T-R-E-N-N. T stands for trust, meaning if you have a problem to solve, you have to always believe that yes, if anybody can solve it, that is me. Always trust yourself. Then comes R, stands for read. When I say read, it is read and read. Read the question enough till you get tired and bored. Okay. And then comes A, which is analyze. And N stands for the famous shoe brand Nike. Nike says just do it. Right? This is Nike. Just do it. So Nike is not my sponsor, by the way. Okay. I just like the punchline. Just do it. The problem happens is when we try solving any sum, we don't spend much time to read the question. We start solving it, and that is where the likelihood of going wrong is more. So what I insist or what I prescribe is this: you have to trust yourself. Okay, since you guys are grown up, you guys have to trust. You don't have a choice. You have to trust yourself that yes, if anybody can solve it, I can solve it. If you think that you cannot solve things, there is no point going for SAT exam, right? So trust is there. Now comes R. When you have a question at hand, read it a couple of times. Like when I was giving you guys the example, right, that you have to solve for either f of g of x or g of f of x. I was trying to enforce that are you guys reading the question? Are you analyzing or not? So read the question 1 or 2 or 3 times. The advantage is, if you really want to practice, you will see that any question, any mathematical problem that you have to solve, if you read it a couple of times, that becomes half difficult, if not more. It becomes much easier. When you read the question a couple of times, you will see that it becomes much easier. Okay? And once you have read the question enough, then you analyze, you put your thoughts together. Okay, now this is my question. This is what this is asking me to solve. The other formulas I know. I will use this technique, use this formula, combine these things, and this is going to be my approach for solving it. And all this thing doesn't take much time. I'm not saying that okay, you start doing research there. No, I'm saying you just put your thoughts together. Make your mind before you start jumping onto it. And this whole process of reading analysis will probably induce 30 more seconds, 40 more seconds, that's it. Brain works much faster. Right? But then after you do that part, and then you try solving it, your chances of doing it right is more higher. Okay? So, only sad thing that I have to tell you guys is, if there is a new student joining tomorrow, I will repeat the TRAN thing and you'll get bored. You'll not like it. But I'll try keeping it brief. Okay? Like Arya was just waiting for me to conclude quickly. Right? But yeah, jokes apart, this is important. If you put your acts together, if you structure yourself for solving things, when you go for exam, right? Exam is not about just rushing to the examination hall, grabbing a piece of paper to put your answers and then just be done with it. No, you have to. It's like an event. You have to prepare for it. You have to put strategies around it. Right? We'll talk about a lot more strategies in the coming classes. What I'm saying is, don't jump to a problem. Don't rush for solving a problem. I was actually observing you guys. As soon as I wrote the question, I saw many of you started working on it, which is good. I mean, it's not a bad thing. But what I'm saying is, there's a better way of doing it. Invest your time to understand the question, hear it right, and then analyze, and then doing it is something that you will do anyways now. Yeah? Make sense? Boring? No? Alright. So see, if you guys have come to learn something from me, obviously I'll teach some of the things that I would have learned with my experience. So that's what I was sharing with you guys. Okay. Again, I'll not keep on repeating this one, but summary of this is read the question enough, analyze, prepare your plan, and then you start doing it. You will see that the number of iterations you end up doing otherwise will be minimized. So whatever time you are investing for doing that analysis and reading of the question, that investment gives you return very quickly in terms of being right, in terms of finding the optimal way for solving the problem. Okay. And when we do more problems, obviously you will see the benefit of that. Now we are almost at the top of the hour. We have 3 more minutes. So what is the takeaway? Whatever we have learned today with respect to composite or composition functions, again, you guys all saw me showing you the Khan Academy place. You will go to Khan Academy. In that particular subunit, you will try doing the unit test. Right? At least that gives you a view of what is the standard form of question that comes in that particular topic that we have learned today. And then try solving those and see if you are getting it right. Are you able to apply the technique that I was talking about to get the answers right? So initially it will look like you are going slow, but then once it becomes a practice, you will see it becomes fast and it becomes more accurate also. Okay. So that is my recommendation to you guys. I'll upload the video of the class in a little bit, and then if you tend to forget something, if you want to recall something, this video is at your disposal, and then you can probably go through it. Wherever you see I'm talking nonsense, you can just skip that part so that you don't waste a lot of time, and then use that for your revision. Yeah. Any questions before we